Today on Lulz, who Brian thinks the Bears should take at number 10 overall, and of course, the latest across the DFS and sports betting space. I'm Pete with Bric. This is Lulz. Let's do it.
Does he think? I think he thinks this. He thinks this is a go. Vegas Dave thinks this is a go.
Hot naked girls doing yoga.
What?
Why don't you just win like a man?
Random.org. Type in 1 for yes, 2 for no, and let the DFS gods pick for you.
And I'm absolutely begging you not to dupe us. Please don't dupe us.
Brian, you told me before we went live you've been losing sleep over what the Bears are going to do with their first round pick. What's your lean? What do you want them to do?
It's funny you said that because I was gonna ask you the same question. Here, I'm thinking a trade down.
Okay,
I think that makes the most sense after everyone they picked up in the offseason. They bunch of trench guys.
It is interesting that like every mock draft, most of the mock drafts I see have them taking a skill position player. They're a popular spot for Genty if he were to fall, and then I've been also seeing a lot of the tight ends mock to them.
Yeah. I don't know. They picked up a tight end too. I can't remember who, and they still have Komet.
Komet's solid. So like spending that high of a pick on a tight end seems a little weird to me.
It's kind of hard to judge even based on last season was really bad. Like you have to have the ball thrown your direction.
Yeah.
Maybe though. For like fantasy, you know, the running backs or something obviously would be the fun play.
For sure. Yeah. And I do think they would take Genty if he fell all the way to 10. I think they would just say, all right, we're in the market for a running back. I think deep down, they'd probably just rather spend like a second or third round pick on a running back, but like everyone has Genty as just a top 5 overall player that they might just shrug their shoulders and say it's a need and he fell and it's a value. So let's do it.
I think that's definitely a possibility. I kind of hate that. Like, I don't hate it. I know the guy's a stud. I'm just like, I don't know. It feels like just imagine if Genty is the could you imagine if they do that? They spend the 10th pick on this guy and they give him like 5 carries a game.
Yeah, I know. That's always the fear with these things. And that what I've it's like every year we seem to get one of those just absolute chaos picks. Obviously, it was Michael Penix to the Falcons last year when they had just given Kirk Cousins all that money. Actually, it's been the Falcons a few years because they took Bijan Robinson super high when Tyler Algier had just had kind of a breakout season as a rookie too. So I think it would be really funny if, say a team like the Jets who have like multiple good running backs are like, screw it, we're taking Genty just to watch, Twitter and everybody burn down.
Do you know there's in Madden they like release players before the draft, like they have college players in there, and there's only certain ones. 2 of the wide receivers like Ibuka made it, and Judkins made it. And I'm like, because these GMs put the Madden rankings into their regressions now. It's on record. I wonder if they're being swayed by who the Madden folks think are good.
I love this intersection of like astrology and actual signal. Like another one of those that people talk about a lot right now is who gets invited to the draft, and so if it's a fringe first round pick, everyone's been talking about Jalen Milroe. They're like, there's no way this guy's going in the first round. And then he gets invited to go to the draft. And it's like, are they really going to invite this guy to sit there and twiddle his thumbs for 32 picks? Or is there something they know that we don't?
Well, I mean, they have done that, right? Even last year, wasn't there guys who got invited and made it in the second round?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
have you ever gone to a draft?
I actually have. Yeah. I went to the one in Philadelphia. It must have been like 2017, 2018. Actually maybe a little later than that. 2022. Jeez. Is that right?
Wow. Okay.
No. I'm way off on my timeline.
Was that the year after Chicago? Because I went to the one when it was here.
Okay.
I think those were right around each other.
It was the year Corey Davis went really high in the draft. I'm looking this up so I can remember which year it was. 2017. Okay, I was right. And then what year was Chicago?
I don't know. I can't. It was a while ago. I don't remember who was drafted. It's fun. I mean, I don't know. I can't see staying there the whole day.
No,
but it's still fun.
I had fun. I was with Karain. This was back. I was doing man stuff, and I was like, I'll go. Someone gave me kind of like passes or whatever to the draft. And I was like, I'll go and shoot some videos. This was all. Oh, the reason I combined it. This is when I did the first broathlon with Bales and Levin. And so I was like, I'll go do the broathlon. I'll go to the draft and recorded stuff. And it is fun. I mean, the Eagles or Philadelphia was a particularly fun place to watch the draft because it's like the Cowboys make their pick and they're just booing the shit out of them the whole time. Like they were a pretty lively crowd.
Yeah, I always thought you did the broathlon in Vegas for some reason.
We did a follow-up the next year when we did the gambling Olympics, and then we did broathlon part 2. That's when we did like the basketball version. And the first year we did a football version.
Yeah, one's not enough. You got to do a second broathlon.
and then we were going to do a third because we went out to Yosemite for a little trip, and then I was just like, this is when I was starting to lose my passion for doing the mans, and I was like, let's just enjoy some hiking and not worry about doing.
You guys outgrew the broathlon finally.
It is fun. I saw the Nick BDGE, who has a big YouTube channel. They just did their annual like combine thing, and I think Underdog even had pick'ems in the market for it, and those guys all ran the 40 and 40-yard dash and stuff. It is always fun to see who's actually vaguely athletic and who is actually just a classic basement dwelling YouTuber.
Did you see Underdog was changing their lobby or something on the app? I like briefly saw something on Twitter.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. I haven't seen it update on mine yet personally. I saw like the screenshot of the mock-up or whatever, but yeah, everybody's very worried about it.
Did I dream this? I swear I saw something. You know how like you'll be scrolling Twitter or something,
yeah,
and then a day or two later, like, did I see this? That Underdog offers some sort of like subscription or something where you can get better odds for a month. Or something like that. Am I totally hallucinating?
I thought it was DraftKings who offered that.
They had something too, but I saw some I don't know what it was. Maybe I saw.
I feel like I would have heard about it if it was Underdog. Yeah. I remember talking about the DraftKings one on Lulz when they announced that.
We definitely did. I mean, I might be totally wrong and just went by too fast, and now I'm like misremembering, but I thought there might be some. So I kind of don't hate the idea, honestly. Like, yeah, as long as there's like a realistic chance you can use your brain and make an extra profit.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not a total, like I think the DraftKings one was total bogus. We decided, right? That was so long ago, I can't remember.
Yeah, because it ended up being like when you looked at the math of it, because there was a max too on like how much, because it was for their single game parlays, I think. And then there was a max on how much you could get down on it. So it seemed kind of negligible, like the big advantage you were getting. It was, I mean, obviously it was a marketing tool to get lower level bettors. Basically you make money off them two ways. First, you collect a subscription, and then you get them playing even more SGPs than they would have the first time.
They might eventually get that into law. It's like, well, we have to have a subscription fee to pay for all the problem gamblers, Pete. Just codify, and it's not our fault. They're forcing us to do it. But I don't hate like the general idea. I know like this is like defending touts or whatever, and people are like, why would you defend? But like, as long as there's like like maybe it's not a plus EV like promotion, but as long as there's a way to make it plus EV, like in theory, like, listen, if you do this strategy, you actually get like 10%.
Yeah.
edge on it. And but like, if you're a dummy and you don't, you're just out there gambling for entertainment, you're probably going to lose by purchasing it. Like, I think I'm fine with that. Like, more opportunities for guys to like use their brain to get an edge is cool. And like them trying that, I think would be cool. Even at Underdog, even if I'm completely making that idea up, I wouldn't mind seeing some attempts there. Like, I would trust Underdog more than like DraftKings promo, like if they tried one, it'd probably be more like, for promotional purposes, and most people could probably get a little edge if they do something. I don't know how that would work. Well, they have pick'ems too, but like with best ball.
Yeah. I mean, Underdog, they're trying things. They're doing, like, right now they just launched the they're calling it the extender for the NBA playoffs, where you get a token for each game. And so you kind of pick the series that you think could go long. And then whether you win or lose, it unlocks a token for the next game. So if it goes to game 7 on the series you've chosen, you can get up to the game 7 will be 100% boost. So there's like a little bit of fun game theory in it. And again, it's only a minimum of $5 too. You don't have to like bet a ton, but you could essentially ramp up your unit size, like proportional to how big of the boost you're getting. So if it goes to game 7 on there, then you could get that 100% boost, which is kind of fun.
I gotcha. So if you do play 6 days in a row, essentially
for the games. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a little break. Between
but
those.
like, even this is like, it's like, clearly they want you on the app every day. Cause like, if users go on the app, they're more likely to bet other things. But like, if you use your brain, just bet in spots that are in your favor and then utilize the token bonus, you're probably going to make out. Like, like, I don't know. I just hear people, complaining about this, like, type of stuff, generally speaking. And it's like, I don't know, like the blatantly obvious ripoff ones. Yeah, of course. Like, those are stupid, but I'm all for them all trying stuff. I think the main thing is limiting guys is the problem we need to focus on. But
yes,
because then you can't even do these things.
I mean, that's like the entire essence of like any kind of marketing or discount. It's like you are giving up a little bit on like the true value or your margins, essentially, to get people through your doors, buying things on your store, hanging out in wherever your place of commerce is. Like, you are willing to make that exchange. That's like what any discount, is. It's not like you're reinventing a business model.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just because it has the air of gambling is a sin, sinful thing. And so if you add promos to a sinful thing, that's, weird.
And it's just like, people talk about the SGP stuff a lot and the hold and stuff, but I don't know who I was listening to talk. I think it was on Bet the Process. I think it was Rufus and Jeff Ma who were talking about it, how like the psychology of it too. Like, at the end of the day, most people don't want to lay like minus 600 for a really safe bet. They'd rather over and over bet $5 or $10 on a 52x or 100x long shot, because even the psychological swings of that, you're not sweating $5 that you lost, and you get excited about the chance to win 500 or 1,000. And it's like, can that exist in the happy medium where you are gambling as entertainment and like the hold isn't necessarily predatory because you're accomplishing that goal of what the user actually wants out of the experience?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I totally agree with that. I bet the sports books don't want to do that because they can get burned by the pros if they shorten the odds on parlays, and they probably just don't want to deal with that risk management. I would guess. But like, that makes, a ton of sense. It's lowering the odds for the thing that the fan wants the most. It would be like the less predatory option, from that mind, if that is your mind frame anyways.
Right.
The other ones also, I think, is like people like just betting on their rooting interest too. It's just a little more. I think that's probably up there. Parlays, I think though the math says that's the fan favorite.
Yes.
Like the amount of handle brought in each month.
Yeah.
In each state is like usually it's all from parlays.
I've been thinking about, because we just did one. It was my first time doing one at Calcutta. We did on the Swolecast for the Masters.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
And I mean, it is like the perfect blend of like all the things we love as far as like fantasy and sports betting and game theory. Because you two, like the other like thing that I'm excited about when we do it again, that I wasn't like, this is my first time. I wasn't even estimating the pool to then try to price out like what would be a good EV for each bid. Like I was just blasting off, but now I want to actually do a little more prep work for the next one. And like thinking about those ideas of getting to like price out the players ahead of time by estimating the pool, I think is like such a fun way to like speculate on sports.
Yeah, I mean, you could build out like those little apps we would have for auction league, home leagues. It's very, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you bidding up Davis like purposely?
It was funny because Davis was the auctioneer. He does a really good job at it. He was not too involved in like the first 75% of the auction. Like he didn't have any winning bids. And then he went hard down the home stretch, and he had Rory. Rory was like the third guy. We did a randomizer for like the nomination order, and Rory ended up being like third to last out of like 50 players who were nominated. But yeah, I was having a little fun coming over the top of some people there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking is Rory. I love how Rory held to the end and was perfect for his strategy. Who was picking who got nominated?
No, that was randomized. That was randomized.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that he was probably just waiting for Rory. Because like Rory and Bryson, did he get Bryson? I would guess he would paid for Bryson.
See, I think everyone was like all of the best values were at the top, which kind of makes sense. And that happens in like NFL auction drafts for fantasy too, where everyone's kind of like feeling out the waters. And if you come in like hard, like a bull in a china shop early on, everyone's like, whoa, let me just get my feet wet here. Let me see like what the vibe is. And then you look back and you're like, yeah, Bryson DeChambeau went for $69 in our Calcutta, and Davis spent $240, I think, on Rory, which obviously ended up being good value relative to winning. But compared to the pricing, like there was inflation as the Calcutta went on.
What was your bankrolls?
That's the beauty of it. It's like there is no bankroll. It's completely up to what the room decides. And which is kind of an interesting dynamic, right? Because technically you could bid on every player. You could win every player, and then like you win the entire auction is just you breaking even, which would be stupid but funny. Yeah. So yeah, the room kind of is like negotiating in real time, like how much are we all going to spend on this?
That is interesting. Yeah, that sounds really fun. Do you think that can be like ported to a website, like
I think so, because one of the main hurdles, right, is like, first of all, setting up the spreadsheet. You got to get it all set up. Someone made it. Our guy Chad Candles like whipped it up in a spreadsheet, so you have like dynamic updating pool and stuff like that, and the prices and how to like smooth out the payout structure. Like a site could potentially have like different types of payout structures depending on how you wanted to do it. And then you could have tools, I think, for like real-time pricing of like, I'm sure after a few data points, you could be able to fill out like, this is the projected total purse size. This is now based on whatever Vegas odds, what the true value of this is based on this established baseline through the first 5 bids. Like there would definitely be some like really cool companion tools that you could make for it.
I'm trying to think too, because if you have no salary cap, which I think would be cool. I think like, so if someone wants to bet $5,000 on Rory and you're only willing to spend $20, who cares? It really shouldn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah.
You could also do like a strategy of just like hopefully you find a room where there's guys like that gambling a ton, and you just take some dollar shots on guys they don't care about. and then you're getting like 50,000 to 1 and stuff.
And that's what happened in our Calcutta, relatively speaking, not that extreme, but the guy who made the most profit actually spent the least, but he had Justin Rose, who got second, who was a huge value. And I think he spent $100. Everyone else was well over that, into the 200s, 300s. And he returned, I think, like the second most money to Davis, but the most net profit, even just because he landed on the one undervalued guy who went completely nuts.
What were the payouts? Is it just placement?
It
the
was
golfing performance, I'm saying.
Yeah, it was largely that, but then there were a few like bonus categories. There was one for like whoever had I'll pull it up right now, lowest, or if someone had a hole in one that didn't hit, there was the lowest old. So like the best player over 55 plus, to basically make some of the non-top 20 contender guys like be relevant as well, or be more sought after. And so these are the kind of things you could obviously customize on your own. We also had like best debutante, for the best first time player in the Masters. We had DFL worst finisher among the cut makers. So there was a few ones there, like if you were a real sicko in the weeds or could figure out how to price this stuff, you might be able to find some pretty big inefficiencies. Like I just basically completely ignored this stuff and just focused on like the odds to finish in the top 20. But it is a fun kind of wrinkle there.
That's nice. I wonder if Bros would play. I wonder if it would be popular if it got on like Underdog or whatever.
It's so funny because I think in my head, because I had heard Rufus and those guys do them. I had heard Peter Jennings talk about it for a long time, and it always felt like overly complicated to me, even as someone who's willing to dive in. And then you do your first one and you're like, it's just an auction draft. And it's kind of like the classic thing that makes a great DFS or gambling game, which is it's not that hard to participate, but the game theory goes so deep that if you want to be really in the weeds, you can. And that's like the perfect spot you want to be in for a game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, I think like just like popularity is just so weird. I think it's like a good idea. But the fact that Underdog even exists as popular as it is was like a super long shot, breaking in, because there's tons of companies that are trying to break into the gambling market and no one goes there, so like, but I would like it if they tried it.
And there's some cool stuff popping up. I enjoyed doing the Splash Sports. They had the big March Madness Survivor contest, and I know they have the one and done stuff for golf. I think we talked about that with Pat Mayo when he was on. And that's like a super simple concept too, of just pick one team and then you can't use them. And I enjoyed having that as a companion March Madness sweat, to where it's like the bracket. I don't know, like it's fun to make a bracket, but like actually sweating a bracket isn't really that fun.
No, the first day it is maybe, I guess, but not really. Betting on the games is just way more fun. You could do a Calcutta for the draft. You could do it. Yeah, you could maybe skip the first. No, I guess no one really knows, right? Well, they know the first.
Do you know what you could do? You could basically have every single player in team landing spot. So it'd be a shit ton of copies, right? And maybe you wouldn't want to nominate or go through. You'd have to find a way to prune it or group it a little more. But where it's like Travis Hunter to the Browns is a thing you can bid on. Travis Hunter to the Patriots is a thing you could bid on. It just have all of the various team fits. So there'd be the same player. Like 8 of us could have Travis Hunter, but we bid on him going to different teams. That could be fun.
Yeah. This, I mean, from the idea of simple, but you could just do it with whoever goes first.
Yeah,
True. and then like, I mean, I guess the problem is that the guaranteed the first guys would be because isn't Cam Ward guaranteed to go first like at this point?
Yeah.
I know Sanders is kind of all over the place.
Yeah, because I think you would do it, and it would be like a different way to do the payout structure, essentially. But it's like all 30. You basically have to do it by. I guess it would get tricky because if there were trade ups and stuff, it wouldn't be as clean as like these 32 teams have these picks. So it could get a little messy, but I do think there's something there. And that's the beauty of it. I was saying to them on the Swolecast, like you could do a weekly thing for NFL. What if it was you were bidding on a wide receiver who scores the most fantasy points on the slate, running back who scores the most fantasy points on the slate, where it's like there's 10 to 15 players on a given slate who would be solid bets to finish first at the position. And now you're doing a Calcutta style to bid on those guys and looking for undervalued plays.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You could do, what other sports could you do? I mean, I guess you could pretty much do any of them.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Like MMA, you could do it. I mean,
MMA for an MMA card would be cool. I guess you'd maybe, because the thing that works great about golf is that everyone's in the same pool. And whereas like in an MMA, it's just like 1v1, essentially. It's not like whatever happens in the title card is relevant to, someone in an earlier fight.
Yeah. Yeah. You could do like KOs, get you. KO gets you more, or, rounds, I think would be clear. First round, second round, third round.
Maybe you just do it as fantasy points, like DraftKings fantasy points or whatever for it.
Yeah, and like let's assign a salary to him, and then we'll all get a salary cap, 50,000.
we just invent DFS?
This idea is going to take off, Pete.
Yeah, but it's fun. The thing that it accomplishes is, well, one, the great thing about an auction, if you have your guy, it's just like, I want to root for Rory McIlroy no matter what, you can have it. Like you literally will get him if you are dead set on getting him. And then there's also the social aspect of it, like of kind of getting to do an auction draft with people and getting the rivalry aspect of like sniping someone or getting in a bidding war. Like it checks a lot of boxes.
I mean, you probably could have got an extra $100 out of Davis. I mean, Rory won; it didn't matter, but you probably could have got him. Yeah. Although you said it was at the end, you probably had no money. Oh wait, no. I mean, because you could bid whatever you want.
Yeah, you could bid whatever you want. Yeah. Thank you, BB Meat Gazer here. Gifted 5 memberships there in the chat. Appreciate you. Looks like Disbanded Brotherhood got one of those.
Meat Gazer. What is the BB? Gazer.
I'm guessing it means best ball. But it could mean anything. BB Meat Gazer, it could be a reference to Bill Belichick's girlfriend. She would technically be a BB Meat Gazer.
Okay.
I suppose.
That's right. I saw he got like embarrassed or something in some tweet. Did you see that where she's like ordering him around?
Yeah. Well,
big balls.
It's pretty clear that she is calling a ton of shots in Bill Belichick's life right now.
Yeah. Well, there is a looks difference between the two of them. She's winning in that department, I would say.
When I knew it was crazy is when she was in the Super Bowl commercial with him, the Dunkin' Donuts, because
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. So that's his girlfriend. And, they've done that Dunkin' Donuts, I think, back-to-back years. They get all the biggest Boston celebrities, right? They've had all of those guys. You're getting the Affleck and Matt Damon. And the fact that they clearly said, like, I guarantee Dunkin' Donuts does not give one shit about Bill Belichick's girlfriend big in there. But the fact that they said from their camp, we will not do this commercial unless she's in it, that's how you knew she's calling all the shots.
That's crazy. And it's just girlfriend, right? Not like fiance?
Yeah, just girlfriend. Yeah.
Huh. I can't imagine he's
wait till she's called the plays for UNC or on the sideline as the offensive coordinator.
Got the cans on.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just like a weird form. Like the concept of a rich older man dating a younger woman who looks way better than him. That's not a novel concept. That's existed for millennia. But to have someone that whipped by the younger person, I'm like, that I can't. You think of like the Hugh Hefner style guy. It's like Hugh Hefner's the one calling the shots. Yeah. Like, where it's like watching Bill Belichick.
Well, especially that guy. That guy's personality. Yeah. He's like the tough, like a tough coach. It's super strange.
And
I guess I get it actually. I think I completely get it.
I think what makes it weirder to me is that it like has, if you see some of the clips of him in her, like that one, I think it was from like the practice field, right? At like UNC or something or
like
wherever.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like his daughter, not just her age, but how she's acting. Like, hey, daddy, I'm like the daughter. I have the run of the field. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to go up and talk to you because I don't care. You're my dad. I get to do whatever I want here. Like, that's the vibe it has. Whereas like a girlfriend or a wife is just like, you do your thing. Like, I don't want to be out here on the field during your thing. I want to go do my own shit. Like, that's why it's weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if she's not going to like get married, like what are the benefits, right? And but like this is what I'm saying is I think her being able to boss him around, go on the field, and call the plays, that's her benefits, I guess.
I would say that like it's probably that's the trade-off. Isn't that the interesting thing too? Is like there's always the sugar daddy element for the lifestyle, but it seems clear it's more about like the clout and fame access that she's getting through it, that she's, relishing. Like, oh, now my social media posts, instead of getting 200 likes, get 2,000 likes and circulated on page 6 in TMZ. That's a pretty big difference in someone who's a wannabe influencer.
Yeah, definitely clout. Yeah, status. I knew a girl. This is years ago. She was cousins with someone I was dating, and she's like, she was like bragging that she was dating a White Sox reliever or something. And it's like, I don't think that's cool. Because like I was a huge sports fan, of course, at the time. Like, yeah, I'm dating, this guy who's got 3 innings pitched and a 7 ERA. He's gonna get sent to the minors. And like, yeah, great, well done. That's kind of gross, actually. I don't know why are you telling me this.
She thought that you would like whip out a baseball and be like, "Hey, can you have him sign this for me?" And
I think this type of person thinks like that. They think, oh, everyone thinks it's awesome I'm dating Bill Belichick. Everyone's got to be so jealous.
Yeah,
that's pretty gross, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, like that's like more the sweet spot of notoriety, where it's like, oh, my significant other is a professional athlete, but like he can still go to the grocery store and no one's going to bother him because he's just relief pitcher or whatever for a moderately successful baseball team. Whereas whereas the Bill Belichick thing, and this is what she's probably reveling in, like Bill Belichick can't go anywhere without getting recognized. Like he's a very recognizable figure, and she probably relishes that. Whereas like a normal healthy person is like, I want to date this person because I like them and I don't want my life to constantly be abrupted so they can take pictures or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you could I could get like somebody has resources. Like, of course, somebody would like dating someone who's like that, a successful professional, stuff like that. But yeah, when that size and that difference in age and stuff, this Charles says here, I hope he signed an NDA. Do you think he signed an NDA? So,
I mean, an NDA, no. Like if they get married, then
that happens in some of these like celebrity relationships, I think.
Now the more we talk about it, like she seems like she might be able to convince him not to have a prenup if they got married. That's how whipped it seems like he is.
I misread that when he first posted that as DNA. And I thought the question was like he should have her DNA checked, like if he's related to her, because he could be her, grandpa. Yeah, you never know. Might want to check that DNA.
Yeah, I mean NDA. Like, what are you having an NDA signed? Of like if you overhear me in a conversation talking like NIL recruiting strategy, you're not allowed to post it on. So like I don't even know what the NDA in that case would be.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, because Elon does this, right? I'm pretty sure, or at least he tries and fails.
Well, normally the way that the Elon or like the athletes, like there's lots of rumors that like LeBron has long been like hooking up with girls and stuff. And And then you just have him sign the NDA. Like in that case, it makes sense because it's like, I don't want this to be said. But once you're publicly in a relationship and the girl's already running your life, I don't know what an NDA accomplishes.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I mean, if she breaks up with him, she could go, he did this to me, he did this to me,
True.
blah, 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 and then make him look worse afterwards. So, but I mean,
That's true.
I get your point though.
Yeah.
Like the Tiger, a beauty pageant Calcutta. Pete, is that in the
Mathology says she's competing in the Miss Maine pageant and that we need to do a Calcutta for that.
Yeah, I don't know if that would go over too well. Beauty pageant Calcutta, you might. And Charles talking about Tiger. That whole thing kind of reminded me of that old South Park. Do you remember the South Park where Tiger they like parodied Tiger's divorce or something? And all the guys in like the PR meeting are like, why would a successful, rich, athletic male try to sleep with all these women? Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, yeah. Now that's taking it. What and was it? Who was it? Was it a Denny's waitress or an IHOP waitress or something like that? That was the one that kind of boggled everyone's mind because it wasn't some like hot, sexy socialite that everyone expected Tiger Woods to be hooking up with.
Yeah. I think Matt Damon married a waitress as well.
There you go.
Maybe that's where it's at.
I mean, I was talking about Bill Belichick just really bringing out the best in the chat for sure. Brandon says, what's that?
I said, who do you think's more mad, Pats fans or just like Pats haters?
Man, I know that like my mother-in-law is a huge Patriots fan and like the Bill Belichick with the young girl stuff just like disgusts her. She's just like, he's dead to me. I don't want anything to do with it anymore.
Oh, that does not surprise me. Yeah. I think that's honestly evolution.
Well, and it's not like he went out on a high note. It wasn't like he won the Super Bowl, was like, thanks for everything, New England, peace. Like he kind of ran things into the ground there.
Yeah, they won like 3 games or something his last season. Yeah.
So fans had like a lingering, distaste for how that shook out anyways.
I mean, it's a little ungrateful. I mean, no offense.
Oh yeah. I mean, trust me, New England fans are insufferable, man. I have to hear about it from they give me the same line. They go, you don't know how long we had it bad. Like as if the fact that they had a stretch of no championships in the 90s meant that like winning 15 of them over the next 15 years still wasn't enough to make up for the dark times they went through.
Yeah. Bears fans have no idea how long the Pats fans waited.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's riffing on the Calcutta idea. Hey guys, I just bought Bill's girlfriend for $1,000. The amount of $69 bids in a pageant Calcutta would definitely break some laws somewhere.
I mean, you could definitely do a beauty pageant Calcutta. That would totally work.
I wonder even like, is there? I can't believe I'm asking this because I guarantee the answer is yes. But it's like, are there publicly available odds? Like betting odds on who's going to win a pageant.
I've never seen them. That's good. That's a good question. Has anyone ever seen beauty pageant odds?
I feel like we've gone so far with this ideation that if there are odds for this pageant, like a Calcutta has to happen for it.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely games because it matters like what country they're from, right? Because like let's say it's the Russian contestant or something. It's like, well, they might not want to pick them. How many Ukrainians are on the judge? Are judging, right? There could be. Like woke reasons or something. It's like, they have like a disabled contestant or something. Like, well, they might pick her.
Yes. I'm looking right now. It looks like for last year's Miss America, I was able to find odds. It looks like Bovada posted odds for last year's Miss America.
Well, there you go.
So there, I'm sharing the wrong screen here.
That's your beauty pageant Calcutta.
Yeah, I'm already just cloning the spreadsheet. So it looks like it was pretty flat up top. You had Tiffany Ticklow out of Miss Arizona, plus 350. Sydney Helgson, Miss North Dakota, Miss Wyoming. Wow, strong Midwest contingent here at the top. And then now let me see who won.
Hold on, don't tell me.
Okay, you guess.
I want to see if I can guess out of here.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Oh, it sounds like it's a surprise.
She is on the screen.
I wanted to say Miss Texas. That's where my gut went, so I'm not going to change.
Okay, it was actually Miss Colorado at plus 1,000, Madison Marsh.
Do you do the Homer thing? And would you have done the Homer thing and bet on Miss Colorado?
I might have. Madison Marsh, too. I guess it sounds like more of a salacious name than even a beauty pageant. It sounds like might be working in a strip club kind of name.
Maybe that's where it's lined up, Pete. You never know. What's Miss Illinois? Is Miss Illinois in there?
God, and now I slandered this woman's name, and now I'm told that she's in the
airport. There you go. If you knew that, that's going to give the voters bonus points. An active member.
That's true.
They definitely do that.
I can already imagine everybody researching these.
Where's poor Miss? This can't help your self-esteem, when you're like,
Miss Massachusetts
Illinois doesn't even have odds. Like, what does that say about this poor woman?
That is true. Yeah, at least Chelsea came in at plus 2,000. Incredible.
Well, but it looks like it's random enough that you could have a big Calcutta. You're right, guys.
There you go. All right, we've created the next great wave. We spent a lot of time on this show trying to come up with ideas for the DFS and sports betting industries, how to innovate new game formats. And the answer has been right under our nose all along. Calcutta's for everything, including Miss America pageants.
Yeah, and don't stop there. I'm sure there's one more we can do.
That's right. You guys did a roundtable on Endgame Syndicate the other day. What's going on in the Endgame world?
Oh, just still working out the kinks of stuff. All back end crap that is super annoying. I think did we talk about that on here? Or maybe the roundtable is like having your own sim and your own stuff is way different than pumping it out to end users. Like if a name breaks or something, I know right where to fix mine, and and it's more complicated, because it's not built for a user, so you have to know how to make all the bells and whistles go and stuff like that. But that's not going to work if you want to have a decent amount of subs. To how does this work if it's too complicated?
Yeah.
I think there's actually people who've had that issue with their product. It was just too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're working on. The morning games for MLB. It's you have to get the lineups out earlier, but we need to automate it. And then it breaks because of a name or something. It's oh crap. Manually, just tedious bullshit.
Do you, cause Nerdy and stuff is working on code, but then you have another developer that's actually working on site implementation of stuff?
Yeah, there's, I guess 4 total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicole works on Draft Caddy. We have a guy who's works on front and back end, and then MLB specific guy working with Yuta, just trying to get his brain sims into the real sims.
Are any of those guys carryovers from Run the Sims before you acquired it, or are they all new to it? Okay.
Yeah. That's
nice. See, there's some continuity there.
Right, and they know how to turn the lights on. Right, so when we need to add something, we're going to try to add the MLB projections to the Draft Caddy. So for hand builders at a lower price, they know how to. It's stupid as how would you go about putting a subscription on your site, and what will you use, and then how do you track that? Do you track that with an API? All just stupid stuff like that. It takes time. One of the good things Justin did was low overhead, which you have to do nowadays. I think kind of middle management is really really hard to do, I think, at like niche small businesses. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So like if you're paying somebody like $90K or $100K a year and things turn sideways, well, that could ruin the company.
Yeah, for sure.
So like he has they're not like full time, but they have enough time.
I imagine it's tricky too, because you guys probably have a lot of stuff you want to do with different sports. But you probably also have to be thinking about making sure like you're really ready to go for NFL, which is going to be the biggest driver of stuff.
It's really, I was thinking about that now. When do we stop? And because we were thinking MMA too.
Yeah. That would be, I would love MMA on Run the Sims. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe we and F1 was more popular than I thought.
Really?
Yeah. It's just as popular as MLB basically with our subs anyways.
And there's not correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be out of touch with it, but wasn't Run the Sims one of the first to do F1 Sims? Like there's not too much competition for it out there, is there?
I don't know, honestly, if they've probably at this point added it to most of the other ones. I don't play F1, so I wouldn't know, but like but I know Justin was. It was like his UFL thing. Like he was in F1, and so I think he was in early. But yeah, it's just kind of surprising.
I still, it blows my mind that like F1 Sims on Run the Sims now on the Endgame Syndicate solely exist because of a documentary series on Netflix. Like full stop. Like that never would have happened if not for that documentary series.
100%. I thought the same thing. I'm like, we have this many subs because of a documentary series.
Yeah,
which is great.
No,
like,
and it just speaks,
it's still going, right?
Yeah, it just speaks to the power of like really good organic content.
Do you think so? I golfed for the first time yesterday.
Nice.
It's fun always, obviously always, but oh my God, Pete, it was ugly. It was ugly because I haven't gone to the range or anything. But my buddy goes, "Oh, I love this TGL. Have you seen the new TGL, the Tiger or TWL, whatever it is, the Tiger Woods new golf league?"
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
It's like with like TrackMan, like the radar technology.
Okay.
With the giant screens they're hitting into.
Okay. So kind of like the sim golf stuff.
Yeah, but like all done up, for TV.
Okay, gotcha. I'm Googling it now. TGL is a new technology-infused golf league created by Tiger Woods and Rory in partnership with the PGA Tour. Features 6 teams of 4 players each, with matches played indoors in a custom-built arena that combines a simulator with a live-action short game complex.
Yeah,
wild.
Anyways, the reason I'm saying that is because it reminded me of the documentary thing a little bit. It's like, oh, somebody's excited about some content. I wonder how many bros there are and if it could ever be like a DFS thing.
And that is wild to me in the sense of like this golf. And I'm trying, and maybe someone who actually watches it, or maybe your buddy had some reasons of why he liked it. But my guess is your buddy does like some golf sim stuff himself, plays. And that's why he's like, I want to watch the best do the thing that I do.
And you nailed it. He does. Yeah. He's got his own sim at home.
Okay.
And it's funny, they instead of using like TrackMan, Tiger made his own radar company. Now they sell, and you could buy it. It's like $5,000. It's like fairly reasonable as far as those radar technologies go. I don't know how good it is, but it's like $5,000.
And it is one of those things when you really think about it. I mean, it's like simulating like half the real stuff, right? Because it looks like they have the short game where you like will chip and putt real. It's like this stuff happens for real, like every week in tournaments. But it's like, God, our brains are. It is the thing of it feels more relatable. I can go sit in the sim and play and have access to that where I'm not going to have access to go play at Augusta, but I can play that same course that he plays in the sim, and I can see how my shot with controlled variables measures up to his.
Yeah. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Yeah, you kind of, even with these sims, they're getting so complex that you could play at Pebble Beach, but just in the sim version.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously it's not going to be the same experience, but you could play Augusta.
I mean, it looks cool. Like this does.
It does look pretty cool.
And from like, I guess this does solve kind of like one thing about watching golf, right? Like going to a golf tournament, it's hard to follow the action. You know, you either camp out at one hole or you're following people around the course and like getting suboptimal views of what's going on. Whereas this like allows you to watch all of the action from one seat for the entire competition. Like that actually makes sense to me.
That's true. I wonder if that was one of his driving motivators. It just kind of looks to me, it's like a darts tournament. So it kind of is, really. You're throwing the ball into that screen with your club. That is cool that they can move over to the. I wonder if like how they get the orientation of the ball once it gets to the green.
Yeah.
Like over here somewhere.
Maybe this is already doing this and I just don't realize it. It sounds like some people in the chat are familiar with it. How sick would it be if there was like a real-time changing? Like, is this the static hole for all of the things, or is there a way that it modulates and like the bunker moves and the slopes change for each hole?
I think it does. Tell me because I don't watch it. I watch it on Twitter clips.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it does. Someone in chat tell us.
All right, I'm coming around on this concept. Okay. All right. Wow, that is cool. I'm in. My skepticism is gone. I now see the vision.
Someone get the Calcutta going. Someone get the Calcutta sheet ready.
TGO, Calcutta. No, I mean, this makes sense because I was going to say static hole. Like if they're just playing the same thing over and over, then like blah, blah. But now if this is changing, and also that would probably just be a fun viewing experience. It's like you're watching like a mountain pop up here or like the pitch, shift in a big way.
Yeah. I wonder how far they could take it. That's cool. That is cool.
Well, then, dude, what if you marry this concept with what they have at like the Sphere in Las Vegas, where you have like immersive. So now all of a sudden you are at Augusta on that hole, and it's like a direct replica, and they're piping in the music, the birds.
They should totally do that as a promo for this league. Go do one thing in the dome. You probably can't bring the green, but who cares? You could putt. You could putt using a simulator too. It's not great, but. And bring in that stuff and do it live.
Yeah. I keep seeing clips too from people at the Sphere, and I'm like, man, that's one of those things I just want to go do once. It does look like a very fun experience to see one of those immersive concerts experiences.
Yeah, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind watching like a movie or something in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be your ideal movie to watch in that? Like
something like Star Wars or something big.
Yeah.
And something like that. What else would work in there? I feel like something like Saving Private Ryan or something would be too intense.
You know what would be good? Something like Mad Max.
That would be fun.
Where you have like huge worldscapes. Obviously space, Star Wars.
Yes.
But just like Dune would probably be pretty badass.
Yep. That could work. Anything in that genre. Mad Max is a good call.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be perfect for that. I mean, I can't imagine they've probably done movies there already. I would think, right?
Movie showing Sphere. Lot. You would think that would be a good way to mix in programming.
You know what would be good too is like the Planet Earth type stuff.
Yes.
Would work there.
That actually looks like one of the things I'm seeing here was there's a new Darren Aronofsky movie, it looks like, that they're showing there. And I don't know if he made this specifically, because I bet, how when you shoot in IMAX, or at least initially when that technology came out, it had to be shot with that in mind. I wonder, it says the Sphere Experience featuring Darren Aronofsky's Postcard from Earth, a multi-sensory show only at the Sphere in Las Vegas. So he shot essentially a movie for the specs at the Sphere. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that idea I could definitely see working.
Yeah.
What shows are going right now? Because the other day I was in the mood for like watching a new series and I couldn't think of anything.
Oh, so Last of Us is back.
Yeah, besides I'm gonna watch that. And Andor is actually a good show too. But.
I don't know if it's up your alley, but I enjoyed the I just caught up on the Celtics documentary on HBO, Celtics Town, I think it's called. Going through like basically the history of the Celtics, going back to Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, up through there. And I've been surprised how captivated I've been by it, mainly just enjoying all the archival footage from like the 70s and 80s and the physicality of the league then. So I don't know, might not be your thing if you're not into.
I do love that Bird era.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe I can watch that. I know everyone says like, was it Succession or whatever? Or what?
Yeah, Succession is good. If you've never watched that show, I would recommend it.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, I watched.
You like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Stuff generally. Yeah.
Pretty much sci-fi, war movies, history or historical movies, stuff like that. It's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to. Lauren and I recently like trimmed down. We were just like, we have so many subscriptions to these sites, and so we're being like more intentional now. Where like we don't even have Netflix right now, and we're just doing HBO, and it's just like there's so much to get through, and then it's like, oh, when you run into a dead end, maybe I'll pop over to another site.
There's almost no reason not to. I don't do that, but there's almost no reason not to. Just like I'll do 1 month. Yeah. And then cancel and then do 1 month. And I mean, obviously, if it's a show you want to watch or some live event or something, I guess. But there's, what a great business model. The subscription model, man. They must make
and they get people like ourselves who we probably did it for a couple of years where we basically had all of them. And your parents like, oh yeah, we haven't logged into Hulu, for 5 months, and yet we're $150 out the door because we just were auto charged.
I thought the fair trade on this whole arrangement with these businesses and us is you can also get like your brother's account for one, and then you can give yours to your parents or something, for another one, and you kind of share within the family, and like so you're paying for 60 or 70% of it. It's not, and then they don't. But then like the deal is then you don't like kick us out or ban us from sharing, and then we'll keep doing the stupid subscription. That's our unsaid agreement with Netflix. And then now I don't know if you get this, but every time I turn on Netflix, it goes, "Hey, we have a family plan now for blah 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 extra." It's like, why would I buy that if I'm giving it to my parents for free? You see?
Right. That it's like they have to prey on the OCD people who don't want like the recommended algo to be distorted by, like whatever their mother-in-law is watching or whatever. How some people love it when they log in and it's like, it's really good at knowing my taste. It's serving me up. It's like when I log into my YouTube account, I think I might've mentioned this, YouTube algorithm, pretty good at triangulating your taste. I go in and it is half kid shows, half, my stuff. Well, I'm looking at workout videos or whatever. It's just the grossest mess of like, it's completely useless because half of it is stuff April, will watch out there.
Yeah. It should be smarter than that at this point. You would think, like, oh, this guy must be a dad. He probably doesn't want these recommendations. Like AI is getting so much better. Like that should be happening.
On the flip side, I will say they probably got me a couple times where I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder if I was like, I've never seen that show. I wonder if April would actually want to watch that. They're probably, they're still marketing to the parents essentially.
What that you meant for yourself? You're like, this Cocoa Melon is actually not that bad. Jam, it's really pretty hard. No, it's just you.
Yeah. Luckily, like April would get it really into like, she gets into like random stuff. And so like, instead of having to watch like the shrill, like cartoon, like Coco Melon type stuff, like two things she's really into right now. She's obsessed with car washes. Like we've taken her to the car wash and now she wants to go to the car wash. She wants to watch videos of car washes and she's into claw machines, like the, just the stuffed animal. And so I was watching like claw machine videos. Like there's YouTubers who like go to crazy places at claw machines. I'm like, I enjoy watching this like more than I do watching Coco Melon. Like I'll watch a cool car wash.
Yeah,
like, that's better to me.
Nudge them, slight nudge into something you could watch.
Yeah,
some of those too are like the cake ones. I don't know if you've ever seen any.
No,
like whether it's a real cake or a fake cake, or just them making the cake. Is also fun. I've seen some of those claw ones though. I've seen some of the claw ones. Are you talking about the one where like the guy knows the code? Like if you go left, right, left. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
It's probably fake. Yeah, but maybe the algorithm will get there eventually for you. But like everyone knows these claw machines. I don't think I have to explain them. But like he would go like left, right, up, down, left, right, select, start. Just like Nintendo, and it would like go into like this mode where he can go and like cheat and grab it.
That's crazy. Now I'll have to, maybe the algo will serve that up to me if I watch enough.
Saying it out loud, I'm thinking like, oh, that was totally content bait. That guy made that machine specifically for idiots like me to watch his video.
What was so funny is April's first experience with a claw machine in real life, she cried because she like conceptually didn't understand, like there's the stuffed animal, like, and I failed. I torched like $10 trying to get one. And we literally have a video and it's very funny to us, but it's her bawling like her eyes out at the claw machine. But then I went to this other kid's place and they had a play till you win version of the claw machine. I was like, thank you, God.
And it has like ducks or candy.
Yeah, it was little bath toys. And I was like, this is the greatest invention. And I redeemed her love of claw machines via finally winning.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's definitely a live and learn mistake right there. Yeah, you go to the guaranteed claw machine first. And then you get her hooked, and then she's gonna waste $100, Pete, not $10, trying to get that stuffy.
Yeah, exactly. Our local library had a fun like program over the weekend where they had like, it was like 2 high school girls, but they dressed up as doctors and they allowed all the kids to bring their stuffed animals in. And then they got like the stuffed animals could get checked by the doctors for like a doctor's appointment. And April just like absolutely loved it. It was like her favorite thing.
This is great, Dad. This is fantastic.
Yeah. And April knew more of the doctor instrument names than they did. First they show her the stethoscope and they're like, do you know what this is? And April's obsessed with all of that stuff too. And she's like, stethoscope. And then they grab the other thing and they don't say anything. And April's like, otoscope or whatever. They're like, oh, we didn't even know it was called the otoscope. I was like, you guys need to do a little more research before you play these characters.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy knowledge she's got.
Yeah. She like the stuff that happened there, like when she went to the dentist or the doctor's office, we now know to film it because she wants to watch back like what happened to her. She's like, she's constantly like, can I watch the dentist video? Can I watch the doctor's office video? So she then learns all the terminology.
It's interesting times we live in, isn't it? That you can document all this stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy. And again, I'd much rather like watch home videos of her than watching whatever random
or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Film grinder. Watch it back to tape.
She's starting early. Yeah, I mean, if she wants to be a ball knower, you gotta start grinding that film early.
Tonight I will pull up some Ashton Genty tape for she does know, like, so her ever since I was tilting sometime in the fall and I was like, Debo, what the heck? I said that. And so now her face to me was always what happened to Debo. And whenever we talk about football, like she says to me, what happened to Debo? And a lot has happened to him. I was like, he's now on a new team. There's going to be, a fresh start. And so whenever she asked me, we have a new, I was like, he's now a 5th round pick that often gets stacked up with Jane Daniels in these drafts. So she says, what happened to Debo? I got stuff for her.
She's like, oh, the mobile quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your like? Do you have like a one call for the draft? Any surprises or someone who you think's gonna be better than expected?
Ooh, yeah. I think the one I've been thinking about is like the running backs. I think everyone kind of has talked about Omari and Hampton being the second guy, but there's now starting to be a little bit of buzz like that Trevion Henderson, who's kind of like the third back, a little bit more of a shifty kind of Alvin Kamara-esque, maybe Jahmyr Gibbs type talent. And he met with the Broncos, and there's been a lot of buzz that the Broncos might prefer him. So the kind of thing I've been liking right now is over 2.5 running backs in round one. And Trevion Henderson going in round one, I think could be.
Where's Judkins projected right now?
I think he's going to be like early to mid second.
Okay. So you can sneak one. Who knows? That could sneak in.
Yeah. No, any of the craziness could, because Hampton will be a first round pick, but I think Henderson could sneak in there depending on what a team's looking for, which could be fun.
Do you still have that rooting interest for the Broncos?
No.
Do you care now?
No, it's not. It's gone.
It's completely gone. I still want the Bears to pick something smart, do something smart.
It's what, like, I still have friends in my life. My parents aren't huge Bronco fans, but they'll talk about it. So it's nice when they're somewhat interesting, just when I'm having my casual conversations about it. But the beauty about fantasy is it's if I'm talking to my in-laws about the Patriots, I know enough there to have conversations with them. If I'm talking with my parents about the Broncos, if I'm talking about my friends from California who still care about the Chargers, I can talk about that. It's just once you do all this, it's I could have the same type of conversation with any fan about their team, which is nice.
Yeah. Are you're the what's his name? Rob Lowe meme.
Yeah, it is just the NFL hat. I'm the neutral party here. And speaking of which, over here on Ship Chasing in 20 minutes, we got Dwayne McFarland from Fantasy Life. He's going to come on, talk about his favorite prospects. He's got the supermodel over at Fantasy Life. So we're going to talk through some of the players his model is higher on and lower on than consensus. So that should be fun. And then next Thursday, we will have our Ship Chasing draft night watch party as well, which is always a good time. But yeah, anything else going on for you here?
Well, in 20 minutes, I'm going to be at the dentist, so not nearly as enjoyable as your experience. We got same stuff right now. MLB projections, F1, and the projections should be available on the Caddy, hopefully today or tomorrow.
Nice.
But I was complaining about earlier, you never know.
Okay. All right. I will keep an eye out for that. I'm sure you'll post about it in the Discord and on Twitter when that is live. But yeah, Brian and I will be back next week, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of fresh draft rumors on the day of by that show. If you guys ever have any tips, shout out to our guy in the Discord. Gave us a tip. It didn't quite materialize. Pretty juicy story. Shorty Vegas told us about. If that does materialize, we will discuss it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Any scoops, pass them on, please.
And we need good scoops because I'm running out of patience with the Elf Spaces boxing universe. I don't have any more intrigue in what's going on over there.
Should we invite him on the show?
We could. Apparently he's a local Boston guy. Although I think he's set up camp in Vegas these days, but seems like he's been on a wild ride. I said I'm not interested. And then his latest thing is there's that guy, Matt Zilber, who I've recognized his name from the sports betting, and he writes up picks for Deadspin, and people caught him flipping his pick in print after the fact and then victory lapping it and have screenshots of the change. And so now he's all under fire, and he's been one of those guys that goes off against pick sellers and is the holier than thou type guy. And now it looks like they caught him with some funny tout business. So it's all a bunch of pieces of shit over there. Shocking. Shocking. All right. We'll get this audio up on the Lulz podcast feed. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Check out Endgame Syndicate. Join us in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, and we will see you guys next time on Lulz. Peace.